I speak today as an Ulam Tamil lawyer. Ulam Tamil people residing in Ulam and out of Ulam, our collective demand is very clear. That is, no justice can be expected from domestic or domestic-dominated hybrid mechanisms operating under Sri Lanka's unitary system. Allow me to explain the reasons why. First, in principle, the unitary state is a lack of legitimacy for the Ulam Tamil people. We didn't cede our sovereignty, instead it works taken by force during British colonialism and carried forward by the post-colonial Sri Lankan state. As genocide survivors, Ulam Tamils constitute a national group that must be protected under the Genocide Convention. A state founded on our disposition cannot be trusted to investigate its own crimes. Second, Sri Lanka's record of commissions and inquiries shows a consistent pattern of failure. Amnesty International has documented how these commissions served only to deflect pressure and shield perpetrators. Furthermore, the International Independent Group of Eminent Persons invited in 2007 to observe commissions of inquiry, withdrew in 2008, concluding there was no genuine political will, no independence from executive interference, and no protection for witnesses. The results was the same as with other commissions, a hollow exercise designed to buy time while avoiding accountability. There is no reason for Tamil victims to place trust in internal mechanism and its institutions that have historically served as instrument of perpetrators and oppressed us. The Chammani and Manar mass graves illustrate why these matters. At Chammani, more than 247 human remains have been uncovered, including children. At Manar, one of the largest mass grave sites in South Asia, more than 300 remains were exhumed in 2018. But the process was halted and no final report has ever been produced. On top of everything mentioned above, the families of the victims of enforced disappearance have protested for more than 3,150 days. In that time, more than 350 elderly relatives have passed away without ever learning the fate of their loved ones. It is heartbreaking that their struggle ended without truth or justice. Despite this, the latest draft resolution before this council, A/HRC/60L1 reference 1, as I read it before leaving the island, with the latest edits dated 22nd September, fails the victims. Operative Clause 7 endorses the Office on Missing Persons, an institution rejected by victims. Operative Clause 8 acknowledges the existence of mass graves but leaves them exhumation to the state responsible for the crimes, merely urging international technical support. Families have made it absolutely clear they will not entrust their DNA or the remains of their loved ones of Sri Lankan authorities. An independent, internationally mandated investigative mechanism must be created with its own DNA data bank outside Sri Lanka, under the custody of a trusted third state or international body. Exhumations must be carried out under the Bournemouth Protocol with international oversight and repository control to ensure dignity, scientific rigor, and credibility. In this context, it is of particular significance that the Ulam Tamil people urge to request the Human Rights Council that to be appoint a special rapporteur for Sri Lanka to investigating, monitoring, and reporting the crimes, genocide, war crimes, and crime against humanity were committed against Ulam Tamils in Sri Lanka. We urge willing member states to seriously consider addressing Sri Lanka state's responsibility for genocide under the 1948 Genocide Convention. And we only demand international justice for genocide. And we request the ICJ investigation on state responsibility. It comes in direct response to the latest shocking revelations at Chammani, which demonstrate the scale and nature of the crimes. Further, OHCHR Sri Lanka Accountability Project to focus specifically on genocidal acts and to trace evidence pointing to genocidal intent before winding up its work. This is very crucial to meet the standard of proof required for state responsibility cases before the ICJ. My own position is a special independent investigating mechanism should be established. Since the drafters of the current resolution have failed to take this up, the member states should be to act on state responsibility as well as for the OSLAP to focus on evidence related to genocidal crimes and genocidal intent gains even more weight and urgency. Victims have fought tirelessly within Sri Lanka's legal system, only to be denied. I speak as a lawyer who has worked within the system and has witnessed its failure firsthand. It is now the responsibility of the international community to act decisively, not to prolong victims' suffering with false solutions. I urge member states to reject cosmetic domestic mechanism and instead mandate an independent international process with the scope, jurisdiction and independence required to address genocide against the Ulam Tamils. Only then will truth and justice become possible. Thank you.